sandwiches. I like sandwiches. I like sandwiches. I like sandwiches. I like peanut butter jelly. I like the belly of the pig. Oh, that's good, it's healthy. They call it bacon. No, I'm not faking. Put it in the oven as soon as start baking. Bread on the griddle, 300 degrees. When it's done and ready, then you drain the grease. Prepping the soil, prepping the soil. Got to get all the big pieces out so that the seeds will be able to emerge through. Good morning. I am prepping my soil so I can get my flowers started. So I've started with topsoil, and I've broken down a lot of this stuff. This came out, just big chunks, no gold. So I also have some mix here. I have my seeds here. A lot of these plants have to be done, started 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost, and the last frost is February, so I'm starting now. This is potting mix. It has some stuff to help with growth and everything, so I'm mixing it with the topsoil. I think I'll do the whole bag. So I'm just going to shake this up and then mix it by hand. Sorry if it's a little shaky, but this is very light. It has perlite in it, which is another thing I'm getting ready to add to it. Sorry, give me one moment. I'm gonna just put this down and empty it out. Maybe I should do it like that. How's about that? Cement. All right, you can see that, right? Maybe if I did it a little bit more onto this side, that's way better. Okay. This can no longer see. Okay, I also have this, which is perlite. I'm adding this so that there's more drainage in the soil, and it also helps to give aeration. I think that should be about enough for now. And I was starting bare hand, but this can get underneath my nails, which it already has. I'm trying to prevent that. So I'm going to put some gloves on and then mix it all up. And then I'll show you how I start. You're supposed to wet this. I'm going to do small batches, so I'm not going to wet it all at one time. But this is pretty much how it's done from the bottom to the top. You see the light and the dark mixing. That's how you can tell the differences between the soils. And this is going to be really light and fluffy, so the seeds can have lots of room for their roots to grow. And like that, right? So I already went through and took out everything, but I knew that once I started to mix the other lighter things, that it wouldn't be an issue. Like, it'll stand out more, the bigger pieces. So that is good. So I see the dark and the light mixing. It looks really nice. I'm really glad about this. So 6 to 8 weeks before the frost. Some plants have different things, different requirements for when you start them. And I'm starting these indoors. I have a little light that I set up above it, and I have a heating mat. It's just like the same kind you put in the bed. But I put it underneath my tray. I'll put it under my tray so it can germinate. Some flowers and plants in general don't need, there's another big one. Some plants don't actually need that much light, that much heat to germinate, and some do, so I have to separate my plants out that way too. Alright, this looks really good. I only have one bag of that potting mix, so I'm going to have to mix this really good down into the bottom. I plan to make bouquets. We'll see what happens. There's only so much I can do, right? But I'm planning ahead of time so that if everything turns out right, then I'll be better off able to do things. So, started very early this morning, just separating out my seeds for the things that they need, and writing down the amount of light they need, how long it takes to germinate. And it's fairly easy after that. I think I'm still just highly anxious about it though, because that is my nature. But the more that you do, that you can do, the less stress hopefully is associated with it. So that's mixed pretty good, I think. So it's like light and fluffy.
But these are the things that I have been dreaming.